All right. So 2 in 1 day? Sure. Why not? All right. So for those that checked with me earlier, I did a little bit of artworks and pencils and inks now because I'm at a standstill with my laundry. I am going to continuing inking or coloring my Witchblade piece. So I'm going to do this a little bit old school. Lately, in recent months, I've been getting getting more comfortable and more confident with my watercolors, and I may still comfortable and more confident with my watercolors. And that's a little bit of an echo, because I didn't start a new stream. I've got all the comments from my old stream, from my earlier stream here, and if you're looking at all this fumbling, I've got. Let's see if I can zoom a little better here. Over here, I've got, for the most part, the colors I intend to use. I've already swatched out what I'm, like, for the most part, what I'm working on color-wise. And for the most part here, I've got my colors picked out. So, on with the show. All right. So I'm going to my iPad here. Not look at. Did I lose my? Oh, there it is. Got my Witchblade reference here, and I think I'm going to. I think what I'm going to go for first is the gauntlet and everything else. Now, fun thing about me is I'm a little bit on the colorblind side, so my eye cannot pick out exact shades and tones. So my eye is registering the actual gauntlet and everything attached to it is more of a warm gray. So I'm going to, with my classic, let's see, my classic Copic marker here, going in with my 2. Now I realize that I wasn't able to pick up all of my pencil, because despite like really trying hard not to or to erase all my pencil work, some of it stayed behind, but I don't mind. I'm a little messy that way, and I'm hoping the happy accident is going to be that I well, one, need a top up for my warm gray 2, and 2, I'm hoping that the happy little accident will add a little bit of texture. Bigger for me. So anyone that's looking to collect a marker or any kind of refillable marker for the first time, what I would suggest, instead of buying pardon me while I refill my ink, instead of buying like a whole set of colors, what I would suggest is, well, I guess if you have the money to buy a whole set, and my suggestion, go for it. But I would suggest whatever color of marker, refillable marker, you are going to purchase, make sure off the bat you purchase the corresponding inks and replacement nibs, if that is an option for your marker. I was fortunate. I ended up getting a lot of my collection for like things like holidays or birthdays, or I had money or gift cards to put towards supplies. Just never have enough art supplies. But once I got to a certain point with my Copic collection, now when I because I ended up initially getting the entire Chow set roughly first, and then the wides, and then I got a few of the classic sets. I ended up getting all of the gray tones in classic, as well as primary colors. But now, whenever I look to get markers, like my dream Copic goal is to actually own all of the like sketch classic. I've already got my Chow collection, which when I do shows, that's like conventions, shows, whatnot, that is like the Chows are what I'd like to bring with me because they're small, they're portable, they're half the color selection. But yeah, it looks like computer coloring aside, it looks like everything is. And I'll have to do some clean out. I didn't notice earlier on. I don't know if you can catch it from the camera, but I'm seeing right now that some of the ink lines I've got here are kind of blown out, to paraphrase Ink Master, and that is the downside of my lack of me being still at the practice and just doing stage of using the my quill nibs again after like 15 years of not touching that kind of inking or much inking at all in general. Okay, oh, and on top of that, that's smudged a little bit. That's okay, I can make that work. So I'm not worried about my shading just yet. I'm just going to be laying down very flat colors, and the most complicated thing for me at this point is going to be laying down the initial flats for the armor. And I gotta tell you, I do not envy any of the artists that had to draw this. Again, because my eye is registering this as like a warm gray, I'm, again, starting my flat with a warm 2, just so it kind of shows up on the paper, and then I can worry about shading a little later. And I missed a pencil line here, but I'm hoping I can work it in with the texture. And notice I'm not quite coloring. I colored over here and I have my smudges. Make sure my nib isn't damaged. Seems fine. So I'll be trying to color within the line much as I can. These lines actually didn't turn out blown out, so I'm happy about that. So keep knocking my. Now the one thing I did with this arm that I realized I didn't do with this arm was add more like Witchblade-y stuff, but I am fine with that. If you are too, but that seems to be the nice thing about the Witchblade. It's kind of like a Kapka's answer to a symbiote. You can kind of You can kind of play with it a little bit and make it do whatever you want. All right, so I think the last thing to worry about is up here. And anyone that's out there that actually is watching, feel free to like pop in, say hi, like if you feel comfortable. If not, I'm not going to put you on the spot and force you to be uncomfortable. Just the more interaction I have with an actual human being here, the more coherent I get. Long line. All right, so I think for now that is, so I'll, oh no, that is not it for now. That is not even remotely it for now. Still have, this is why I kind of grabbed the classic, so I can kind of get into these fine spots. Like I know I'm working with a large enough piece of paper. And sometimes I want to get a finer spot, and I'll probably go back in with like a darker shade to get some shading and textures down. All right. For now, I think that's good. Now I'm going to go for the other thing there's a lot of is skin tone. Now, the one thing I've noticed with Witchblade is that she is a little more tanned than I thought. So I'm not sure, because I'm not I never really read Witchblade as a teenager. I'm not sure if it's an ethnicity thing or if it's a tanning thing or just how Top Cow colored. Or maybe she just goes to the beach a lot in her spare time. So again, I'm going to a little bit flatter. I should have left some white. That's all right. This will be the base then. There's some effects in here, so what I'll do is I will just worry about the flats for now. And I'm not as concerned if I get out of line, like as far as the hair goes. Because that will be a darker flesh tone. There's not actually a lot of color. Now, when I'm using the wide, Copic wide here, and everyone, it's been a while since I've done a Copic video, but what I like about the wide markers is I do have a little bit of control. I can kind of go around here, around here, whatnot, and still get enough control to actually make my way around here. For like surprising amount of control. But the nice thing is I can cover a wide amount of space in a very short time, which means coloring for a video now, if I was really smart, I would have thought to purchase the airbrush kit and just kind of airbrush around, but I wouldn't have the control for that. Yeah, if there's anyone out there that is a little more familiar with Witchblade, feel free to put me in my place here. I'm just going to do my stupid little test. There we go. Like, kind of fill me in on some of the details here, like origin powers. I guess if you were a fan, how long were you a fan? Did you ever drop off? Is the reboot something I should take interest in? Like, stuff like that. I'm really draining on this here, so I'm going to find my E31 and do a top up. So one thing I'm finding downside of markers, now that I've started using watercolors too, I find that using the watercolors when you run out and fade and have to start over, it doesn't look as patchy as this. So probably use a blender to blend some of that, or when I get my shading, see what I can do to kind of get rid of some of those streaks. Either way. I'm not sure how. All right. So I did a bit of an over, and I'll probably go over again with some of this. Did I decide a hair color? What is that? E18. E18 brought out. E15. E18. Oh, I did not think of a maybe. So if you see on the board beside me here, all right, I think I can use E25 now. down. I really should make a formal kind of scratch board, but I'm not. I'm just going to check 1 second, see if I do have an E25 refill. E25. That's probably why I don't use an E25 very often, because, yeah, I do not have the refill for E25. So I'm not going to worry about that then. Actually, you know what? Screw it, I will. Wait, what did I have? Oh, I did have it. And I believe E15, I do have a refill. Yes, I do. Did I? P15. Okay, I only have E15 in Chow, but I do have a refill for that, so that's all right. So again, this is just my base set of colors. I'm kind of sneaking in between. Okay. Didn't realize how dry this one was. That's alright. It's kind of giving me the effect I'm wanting. I'll take a second, maybe top up this. Could actually maybe show this a little bit. So, all right. Probably this is nothing new. This is something you'd see out of Adam Hughes. What I do is I'll take my and yes, I'm wearing my DC Comics pajama pants. Nice. Doing a little bit of housework at the same time, laundry to be specific. And if anyone has done laundry before, the one thing about laundry is you can get to a point change this a little bit so I feel a little more comfortable, and I realize I have to color that in still. Smooth, Barton. You dumbass. there. Okay, much better. Not quite giving that dried effect that I would have that I was liking for the hair at the first part here, but I'm not hearing the squeaky as much. Okay, kind of makes sense. Tape actually stayed connected. Well, this is probably something I should consider. The downside with the Copic wide markers is they no longer make the pre-filled colors anymore. And I had there were 3 sets, 36 colors total. Your grayscales, your primaries, and your pastels. Which is all well and good. But the upside is they still make the wide markers empty, so you can buy yourself a wide marker, a blank wide marker. You can buy yourself a color of your choosing, and then just create your own. And I've done that with a few. And again, because I've been experimenting with watercolors and going back to like traditional black and white ink work, where I can't hide behind I did a lot of hiding behind my Copics when I started viewing or started doing live streams. So, all right. So I'm going to go back. And if I remember, yes, E31. On a bright note, now that I'm doing this, I'm going to do color in the background, and then I might actually do watercolor. I haven't made up my mind yet. So there's a couple. All right. So there's a few different ways I can get a little shading going on with the colors. One way with the Copics, you can either go, just as an example, I can go in here with a darker Copic and just put in some shapes here, just to add a little bit, and it looks like the way I'm going to I'm not sure what my strategy is for shading. I shouldn't have shredded my Belcher reference. That's easy enough to reacquire, though. All right. Find my reference again, so actually that's not really, well, it's helpful if I had a spotlight, because the actual photo has like kind of the hand here kind of shading here. But I don't know if I want to do that. I think I'll just do kind of rim lighting where this is why I'm not a colorist. It's right here. Add a little bit of shade here. I wonder if I should do a gender swapped Witchblade. Let's see what this looks like when a dude has all his clothes torn and tattered. And this isn't adding a lot of extra shade between the E15 that I used for the hair initially. But it is kind of calming down the streaks because I ended up having to use a smaller marker. All right. And what I should have done is gotten I'll get a cool gray a little later in there. Okay, cool. Seems almost a lot of the reference I am using. The colors are, or the shape, the design of the. I've got the three core things I was concerned about. These three beads here, so it Looks like zoom up there. I know this is a lot of fun, having me look at an off screen, so I'll figure out exactly the shades of those. Second. Now I'm going to go back to my W3 and add a little shading here, and I'm going to leave these veiny parts kind of open. And then add a little bit of shading here. I'll leave this part alone. Add a color bead to that. And I'm going to do a little bit of figuring and walk away the camera for a sec. So I need a red, a green, and a blue. I'm going to use a different red than what I used for the lipstick. Okay, good. I really have to start setting my sleeping preferences on my iPad to something more than 30 seconds. So this isn't quite comic accurate, but I did want like a darker kind of more of a yellowy green here for the next one beside it. Blue down here. And I'm just, again, doing this solid. I'll have kind of an idea of what I would like to do with effects. That'll come a little later. Okay. So I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do for, you know what, I will also do that one in my garnet. Where did I put my garnet? There we go. Or no, that is lipstick red. My garnet is right in front of me. So I will do this gem, more garnet. I've got for some reason I put a gem there, so maybe I will make that also blue. Really hoping if there are fans here, that I am not pissing them off. Okay. clear off all of these for now. I don't think I'm done with them yet, just because of how much of a unlateral or non-lateral process I have. Probably go back. I think I am going. Nope. Debating. You know what? I think I will do my get my watercolor kit. Now, let's see. What kind of color do I want the background here? I've predominantly, like, the entire thing here is pretty well like very few actual dark colors, or not dark colors, very few actual warm colors here, but I don't want to leave that white, so I wonder. Trying to figure out how to do this color-wise. I will attempt to see if this will work. All right, not too bad. And then all right, I'm going to grab the biggest brush that I have and work out color. Okay, that is a navy blue. Now, do not take me as any kind of expert on watercolors to call me a beginner. It's a gross understatement. I'm trying to mitigate the buckling effect. As much as I can. I wonder if I should experiment with this a bit. This is why you never buy your tape at the dollar store. Old saying, you get what you pay for. Good old-fashioned Kleenex, just dab that up a bit. Turn that upside down as I knock over. I'll go over what I colored correctly here, see if that actually is an effect I want to do to the rest of the piece. Actually, that action doesn't look half bad. Once this dries, I might actually go over the rest of the painting like that. It's actually not buckling as much as I thought. And the upside about dealing with watercolor versus India ink is I can clean this brush a lot more effectively here. Let that sit for a second. Don't seem to have anyone online at the moment. Or at least anyone online that's chatty. So trying to go over. Looks like go over again. Make sure that. That's the other thing I could have done with this shading too. Oh, I had one more green that I meant to use on Sarah Pizzini's eyes. What was the other green I had? Yellow green? No, I'm not going to do yellow green. A lot of Instagram views on the black and white. I hope you guys, anyone that's in, or hopefully for those that haven't been checking out yet. All right, so I wonder. Sorry, I'm rambling all over the place. Actually, not going over a little bit. Is there a spot that I can try out here? All right. Don't know if it's. I'll go over. Not very. All right. Might have taken that a bridge too far. It's all right. And what else do I have here? I have a couple of these Posca pins. So I'm going to, because I did a solid color of the jewels all in solids. I'm going to see again if I can get a good look at the glove again. See where I want to put my, because my lighting makes no sense. I'm going to go. I'm smudging. This is probably the messiest that I get with. Because I have the red one right away, noise. A little bit extra. All my other Posca pens are just a little bit out of reach right now. I'm going to get a... Actually, that is drying off nice, way nicer than I thought, so... I'm going to get a... Now that I've been paying attention to W's. See if I can kind of get a little more shade in there. Let's see how much actual shading I can do here. I don't want to overkill it. Again, that's why I like the classic markers. The fine nib gives me a considerable amount of control. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit of by Posca. I'm just going to come back with a little bit of white just to see how much of an effect I can actually get here. And see if I can do anything with that hair. Well, I've already been at this an hour. Laundry's probably done by now. And I don't know how much shine I actually want to add to these segments. Because most of the shots, these look a little more organic than technological. Yeah, I'm not even like... The gauntlet itself seems metallic, but I said every other shot I look at it, like once the armor envelops, it looks a little more... But yeah, so if anyone's out there, again, fan of Witchblade, like, can you actually tell me what this is supposed to be that I'm working with? Oh, that was bad. All right. So let's see if I can clean that. All right, that can be cleaned up. And do I still have my garnet? I do, so I'll just there. And then last but not least, I think I'm gonna start wrapping this up soon. See about I can get some. Sorry, this must be one of the blander postings I've done. This is something I could easily, under part here, I can definitely add darker. Probably even go over these dark spots a couple more times. That's just something I'm doing. My acrylic pen here, just kind of smudging, and I realize before I go, I'm going to do a little bit of touch up. I'm not going to break out my quill and inkwell. I'm just going to use my multi-liner and just kind of finish connecting these lights here. And I'm going to drop a pen. I don't know why I had all that in there. Oh, that's why. And just mistakes I'm almost positive I made. Well, everything I do art-wise is a mistake, really. All right. I'm just going to smash my microphone all over the place. Things I do for cheap entertainment. All right. So, probably a lot more I can do with this. But I feel like if I do too much more, I am going to get past the point of no return. And okay. Not my favorite piece, but I am going to call this one done. So for anyone that plans, again, on checking this out a little bit later, thank you very much. I'll be posting this on my still feeds in about a minute after this. But for anyone that is checking this out or will check this out for the whole thing, thank you very much. And I am done for the night. Have a good one.